The sun hangs low over the golden grasslands of the Masai Mara as I drive slowly across the uneven savanna in my open safari vehicle. Dust rises behind the tires, while scattered acacia trees cast long shadows over the dry earth. I am filming the early evening wildlife movement when a sudden burst of motion cuts across the tall grass ahead of me. A baby gazelle fawn sprints desperately through the savanna, its small legs moving as fast as they can over the rough ground. Close behind, a full-grown cheetah runs in perfect silence, body stretched low and streamlined as it closes the distance rapidly. The baby gazelle fawn stumbles briefly over uneven terrain, but regains footing for a split second. The cheetah accelerates and lunges forward, striking the baby gazelle fawn from behind. Both bodies tumble through the dry grass as dust explodes into the air around them. When the dust settles, the baby gazelle fawn lies on its side in the grass, its thin back legs twisted at unnatural angles. The cheetah stands over the baby gazelle fawn, breathing heavily but controlled, its claws still extended. The baby gazelle fawn attempts to rise, but its hind legs fail to support its body and collapse beneath it. The cheetah grips the baby gazelle fawn's rear leg with its jaws, having severed the tendons in a precise hamstring attack. The baby gazelle fawn's front legs push weakly against the ground, while the disabled hind legs drag uselessly in the dust. A short distance away, an adult gazelle stands frozen, watching from the tall grass, but unable to approach. The cheetah releases its bite and steps back slightly, observing the immobilized baby gazelle fawn. The baby gazelle fawn remains alive, breathing rapidly, unable to flee, lying exposed in the open savanna of the Masai Mara. I stop the vehicle abruptly, realizing the baby gazelle fawn is not dead, and the cheetah is preparing to feed slowly. The golden light fades as the cheetah lowers its head toward the helpless baby gazelle fawn. My hands tighten around the steering wheel, as I understand that if I do nothing, the baby gazelle fawn will be eaten alive. I slam my hand against the steering wheel as the cheetah lowers its head closer to the living baby gazelle fawn. The baby gazelle fawn tries to push forward with its front legs, but the severed hind tendons leave the back legs dragging uselessly behind its small body. The cheetah keeps one paw pressed firmly against the fragile ribcage, preventing any movement. The golden light fades faster now, and shadows stretch across the savanna floor. I know that cheetahs often begin feeding while their prey is still alive to conserve energy. The baby gazelle fawn's chest rises and falls rapidly, fully conscious and unable to escape. The adult gazelle in the distance takes one hesitant step forward, then stops again, frozen by instinct and fear. The cheetah briefly lifts its head and scans the horizon, aware of my vehicle but not yet threatened by it. I realize I am close enough to intervene, but stepping out means entering the territory of a powerful predator. The baby gazelle fawn lets its front legs collapse for a moment, exhausted, before pushing weakly again. The cheetah lowers its head and grips the side of the baby gazelle fawn's abdomen with its teeth, testing the flesh. The small body jerks in reflex while the disabled hind legs remain motionless in the dust. My heart pounds as I calculate the distance between the vehicle and the predator. If I move too slowly, the feeding begins. If I move too aggressively, the cheetah may attack. The wind shifts slightly, carrying the scent of dust and blood across the open grassland. The cheetah tightens its stance over the immobilized baby gazelle fawn. The sun sinks closer to the horizon, and darkness approaches. I understand that I have seconds left before the first fatal bite. I throw the vehicle into gear and accelerate directly toward the cheetah. The engine roars across the open savanna, breaking the fragile silence of the Masai Mara. The cheetah immediately lifts its head from the immobilized baby gazelle fawn and locks its eyes onto my approaching vehicle. The baby gazelle fawn remains on the ground, hind legs completely disabled, unable to move. I drive closer than I ever have to a wild predator in open terrain. Dust explodes behind the tires as I steer in a wide arc to appear larger and more threatening. The cheetah steps back from the baby gazelle fawn but does not fully retreat. I slam the brakes hard and bring the vehicle to a sudden stop just meters away. The cheetah's body lowers defensively, muscles tense, tail rigid. The baby gazelle fawn lies exposed in the dry grass, breathing rapidly, its back legs twisted and useless. I grab the metal emergency flare launcher from beside my seat. I step out of the vehicle carefully, keeping the open door between myself and the cheetah. The cheetah watches every movement, calculating distance and risk. I fire the flare into the air above the predator. The flare ignites in a burst of light and sparks against the darkening sky. The cheetah flinches and retreats several steps from the baby gazelle fawn. I fire a second flare closer to the ground, landing between the predator and the disabled prey. The cheetah finally turns and runs across the grassland, disappearing into the tall, golden savanna. The baby gazelle fawn remains alive on the ground, its hind legs irreversibly damaged, but the immediate threat is gone. I move quickly toward the small, breathing body before the cheetah can reconsider and return. I lift the baby gazelle fawn fawn carefully into my arms, keeping its disabled hind legs fully supported to avoid further tearing. The small body trembles against my chest while the back legs hang unnaturally still beneath the thermal blanket. I move quickly toward the open safari vehicle, scanning the tall grass for any sign of the returning cheetah. The adult gazelle in the distance watches every step but does not approach. I place the baby gazelle fawn gently across the back seat of the vehicle, positioning the injured hindquarters on a flat surface. The severed tendons leave the lower legs limp and without resistance. I grab the field trauma kit from under the driver's seat. Darkness spreads across the Masai Mara, reducing visibility by the second. I disinfect the exposed wounds as carefully and quickly as possible. The baby gazelle fawn flinches but remains conscious, breathing fast and shallow. Blood loss is visible but not catastrophic yet. I apply compression bandages above the damaged tendons to control bleeding. The wind shifts suddenly, and I hear movement in the tall grass behind the vehicle. I freeze and look toward the sound. The adult cheetah reappears at the edge of visibility, circling cautiously back toward the scene. The baby gazelle fawn lies helpless in the vehicle, unable to move its hind legs. I understand that if the cheetah charges now, there will be no time to escape. I close the rear door firmly and rush to the driver's seat. The cheetah lowers its body again, calculating distance. I turn the ignition and press the accelerator hard as the predator begins to advance. I keep driving across the dark savanna until the cheetah disappears completely into the night. The engine hums steadily as I head toward the nearest wildlife veterinary station on the edge of the Masai Mara. The baby gazelle fawn lies on the back seat, breathing fast but stable, its hind legs secured and supported. I monitor its condition in the rearview mirror while navigating the uneven dirt road. Lights from the small wildlife clinic appear ahead in the distance. I stop the vehicle and carefully lift the baby gazelle fawn again, keeping the injured hind legs fully supported. Veterinary staff rush toward me with a stretcher. Under bright clinical lights, the medical team begins advanced treatment on the severed tendons. Hours pass as surgeons work to clean, repair, and stabilize the damaged hind legs. I wait outside the operating room, replaying every second of the savannah confrontation in my mind. Finally, a veterinarian steps out and nods with cautious relief. The surgery is successful, but recovery will take time. Days later, the baby gazelle fawn stands with external support braces fitted to its hind legs. The legs are weak but aligned. Weeks pass in rehabilitation as the baby gazelle fawn relearns how to bear weight. Each day, the steps grow steadier. Eventually, the braces are removed. The baby gazelle fawn walks independently, slower than before, but stable. At dawn, I return to the open grasslands of the Masai Mara. I kneel and release the healed baby gazelle fawn back into the tall golden grass. In the distance, an adult gazelle steps forward cautiously. The baby gazelle fawn moves toward the adult gazelle with careful but functional strides. The two gazelles stand side by side under the rising sun. I remain still, watching them disappear into the vast savanna. The Masai Mara returns to silence, but this time, life continues.